What if everything you are chasing right now does not actually matter? Not the promotion, not the house, not the title, not the validation. What if the people who have lived the longest, lost the most, and seen everything life throws at a human being, what if they are all trying to tell us something we are too busy to hear? Because they are. Every single day, people over 70 carry wisdom that took decades of pain, joy, loss, and survival to build. Wisdom that no book teaches, no school offers, no shortcut delivers. And today, we are going to share 6 of the most powerful lessons that only people over 70 truly understand. Lessons that will make you rethink how you are spending your days right now. Stay until Lesson 5, because that one changes everything. Lesson 1. Time is not something you manage, it is something you spend. When we are young, we talk about managing time, saving time, optimizing time. We buy planners, set alarms, build schedules. We treat time like a resource we can control and store. People over 70 know the uncomfortable truth. Time was never yours to manage. It was always passing, with or without your permission. There is a man who spent 40 years building a successful business. Every measure of success achieved. And when he turned 72, sitting alone in his favorite chair one quiet evening, he realized something devastating. He could not remember a single Tuesday from the last decade, not one. Because every Tuesday looked exactly like the last. Rush, achieve, collapse, repeat. He told his grandson, "I did not live 40 years, I lived 1 year 40 times." People over 70 do not manage time. They taste it, they protect it, they refuse to let a single evening pass unnoticed. The question is not how to manage your time, it is what are you actually doing with it? Lesson 2. The people who stay are worth more than the people who impress. In your 20s and 30s, you collect people, contacts, connections, followers. You measure your worth by how many people know your name. Then, life happens. Illness, loss, failure. The moments when everything falls apart and you discover with brutal clarity who actually shows up. Not the impressive ones. Not the ones with the right titles or the expensive suits. The ones who answer the phone at midnight. The ones who sit beside you in silence when words would mean nothing. People over 70 have stopped investing in impressive people. They protect the rare, quiet, loyal ones with everything they have. One elderly woman said it perfectly. By the time I was 75, my world had become much smaller, but everything inside it was gold. Look around you right now. Who would show up if everything fell apart tomorrow? Those people, protect them like your life depends on it, because one day it might. Lesson 3. Most of what you worried about never actually happened. Think about the last 5 years of your life. Think about the things that kept you awake at 3 a.m., the conversations you rehearsed 100 times, the disasters you prepared for, the humiliations you were certain were coming. How many of them actually arrived? Research shows that 85% of what people worry about never happens, and of the 15% that does, most people handle it far better than they ever imagined they would. People over 70 have lived through enough cycles of worry and relief to finally see the pattern clearly. Worry is not preparation. It is imagination pointed in the wrong direction. One 78-year-old man described his life this way. "I have been through many terrible things. Some of them actually happened." The years you spend worrying were not years of protection. They were years of living a painful life that never came. What would you do differently if you genuinely believed that most of your fears will never arrive? Lesson 4. Silence is not emptiness. It is where everything real lives. We live in a world terrified of silence, every moment filled, every pause interrupted, every quiet second replaced by a notification, a scroll, a distraction. People over 70 have discovered something the modern world does everything to prevent you from finding. Silence is where you actually meet yourself. Not the version of you performing for others, not the version running from task to task, the real you, the one with actual opinions, actual feelings, actual answers to the questions you are too distracted to ask. The elderly do not fear silence, they seek it. Because in silence, they process grief that needs processing. They find gratitude that noise always buries. They reconnect with the person they actually are, underneath all the rushing and performing and achieving. When did you last sit in complete silence for 10 minutes? Not meditating, not listening to something, just sitting, being, existing without producing anything. That discomfort you feel at the thought of it, that is exactly why you need it. Lesson 5. Regret for what you did fades. Regret for what you did not do never does. This is the one that changes everything. Psychologists have studied regret across thousands of people in their final decades, and the finding is consistent, powerful, and deeply unsettling. The things people did, the mistakes, the embarrassments, the failures, fade with time. They soften. They become stories, sometimes even funny ones. But the things people never did, those stay sharp forever. The trip never taken, the words never spoken, the person never called, the dream always postponed for the right moment that never arrived. People over 70 are not haunted by their mistakes. They are haunted by their hesitations. There is a woman who spent 30 years wanting to paint. She told herself she would start when the children grew up, then when work settled down, then when the right time came. She is 81 now. Her hands shake slightly, and she finally started painting last year. She said, "The paintings are not very good, but the feeling of finally doing it is the most alive I have felt in decades." You do not need the right time. You never did. What have you been postponing that your future self will desperately wish you had started today? Lesson 6. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your relationships. Nothing else comes close. Not your achievements, not your savings, not your reputation. Harvard University ran the longest study on human happiness ever conducted. 85 years, thousands of participants tracked across their entire lives. The conclusion was clear, simple, and completely at odds with how most of us live. The people who were happiest at 70, 80, and 90 were not the most successful, not the wealthiest, not the most accomplished. They were the ones with the warmest, most genuine relationships. That is it. Not a complicated formula, not a secret technique, just people who truly loved other people and made time for them and chose connection over achievement when they had to choose. People over 70 know this in their bones because they have watched friends disappear, marriages crumble, children drift away, and they understand with a clarity that only loss can teach that every moment spent truly connected to another human being was never wasted. Every other moment is questionable. So here is what we want to leave you with today. You do not need to be 70 to live with this wisdom. You do not need to wait for loss to teach you what truly matters. Taste your time. Protect your real people. Release your worry. Seek your silence. Start the thing you have been postponing and pour yourself into your relationships like they are the only thing that matters. Because according to everyone who has lived long enough to know, they are. If today's video touched something in you, share it with someone you love, a parent, a friend, a sibling, someone who needs to hear this today. And if you would like more honest, thoughtful wisdom every week, subscribe to Golden Wisdom. We are here for the people who want to live fully at every age.